welcome. Okay, we have some new people here also, some powerful light workers that are currently here at the center. And just for everybody to know that we do have our anchoring light, which is over July 16th. We'll be moving into 19 years of every Monday without fail, working with the ascended realms of light every Monday without fail. Wow, it's hard to believe. I know. And I gotta tell you, Catherine was there from the very beginning to some of us, and you're practically from the beginning before when Anchoring Light started, when we opened up 13 years ago. So it's just really amazing to see. Here we are. Here we are. Wow, what a whole different place. You come into the energy of the cosmic center, you feel the light right away. People coming like, wow. Even for light workers that are not too sure about, like, wait, I could feel the energy. Like, yeah, it's a portal. It's a portal of light. So, what I wanted to say for those that don't know, we both have it in-house here at the Cosmic Center Spiritual Light and also on Zoom. And so that'll happen as a result of, remember the COVID? It's almost like pre-COVID and post-COVID. Life has changed dramatically from before then and after then. But here we are. So what we also do too, for those of you that are new, we also go on Facebook Live and I do something what we're calling the cosmic insights, because always from the beginning, I'd always have like information. We would start to talk to each other and kind of share. It was almost like this kind of um, developing of interchange and exchange, beautiful, people meeting and talking and so forth, and that I kind of evolved into this container where the ascended realms of light would come into. So we continue that in now what we call Cosmic Insights. And I also do share this on Facebook Live to reach people all around the world. Actually, it goes around all around the world. One other thing I'm going to say to everybody here, Clark, we're going to start something now. We've been working with our technology, which is a ever which is an ever ongoing adventure. Okay, it's like an ever going adventure. But what we're going to try to see if we can sync the sound, because right now we have two different sounds. We have to use the sound through the phone for those that are here, and we have to use the sound for those that are on Zoom, a different protocol. So we're going to see if we could sync them. So in the beginning, we're just going to do a quick test on that, see if it works. And thank you, Clark, because he's always here, as many others who do volunteer their time, and is always appreciated. Okay, so we're going to get started now. Hi, Mary, how are you? Coming in from Dallas with my friend Lynn. Yay, okay. Christine says hi. Okay, good to see everybody here. I'm so excited just to tell you guys first that some of you know that there's a group of us that's going to Arkansas, Hot Springs, Arkansas. That's going to be on Friday. And, it's just so amazing. And we have a beautiful light worker here, Bridget, okay, who's going to be going on this trip as well. And it's always beautiful because I've done this so many times now that once you say, okay, you listen to the what I call a divine directive, and this divine directive came from Toth, a high ascended beings, a high ascended being. Many know from, an Egyptian god. However, he actually comes from Atlantis. And there's many of us that hold those codes. Many of us do. A lot of us do. But there's been call for those who hold those codes to come and do some activation in Hot Springs, which Arkansas has one of the largest deposits of crystals and connected to Atlantis, as is Florida. So there's some connection with that. I don't understand it all. Bok Tower, we did a thing in Bok Tower, which is in Lake Wales, Florida, when we couldn't go to Bimini during COVID. And Bok Tower has anomalies over there connected to this whole thing. So it's a real thing. We're very excited. Plus, we're going to be in Hot Springs, which I'm excited about, and to do this powerful work. Okay, so I'm going to now go on. Hey, Zach, good to see you again. I'm now going to go on Facebook. All right. We've been experimenting with different things to do. Make sure I'm on the Cosmic Center, and we're going to go live. Okay, let's see here now. Okay, we want to go live. Okay, loading. Okay, I've done this enough times to kind of know a little bit of what I'm doing. Go live. So if you see me looking up this way, it's only because I'm on Facebook Live. Welcome, everybody. This is Reverend Sharon Elizabeth, known as Baba Sharon, here at the Cosmic Center Spiritual Light. I'm surrounded by some beautiful, beautiful light workers here at the Cosmic Center, located in Sarasota, Florida, in the United States. And also, we have our beautiful light workers remotely that are participating through Zoom. If you're seeing this for the very first time, usually it's going to come up on your feed later on. Know that you are invited to participate in this great work that we do. It is actually a transmission coming from the ascended realms of light. Okay, the Amishadai, the family of light. Been doing this now for over, what did I say? How many years? Thank eight, yeah, 18 years, going 19 years. Yeah, coming to a 20th anniversary soon. So anyway, why do we keep on showing up every week? Because when you say no to the Ascended Masters, of course you're going to come and show up because it's quite very, very important work that we do. So know that you're welcome. Simply go on our website or go on our Facebook page and you'll see the Anchoring Light Transmission Meditation. Okay, so just a little chat. I want to talk about a couple of things, some of which I have already spoken a bit about, but in a different type of um, title, maybe. And that I had talked about the other day about the armor of God. I did speak about that. And, what is the armor of God? It's actually in Ephesians 6. And I had talked about how I wasn't as familiar, with like, some people can give Bible quotes. I can't. I had a different tradition growing up, Catholic school, which they said, we'll tell you about it, So a little bit different from Protestants where they actually did the Bible and read them. So I wasn't as familiar, but I did get, this is many years ago when we were doing the Gospel of Mary, which is a Gnostic gospel. And this was during a time of great exploration for myself and others, like what's going on, trying to figure out the world. And so this when the knowledge of Gnostic gospels came into my awareness. And these Gnostic, the Apocrypha, Gnostic gospel, things I was never exposed to. But see, as I've mentioned before, all things that have been hidden will now begin to come and rise up. We are in the age of Aquarius, and Aquarius is all about, the technology, about communication. So all of this now is beginning to come up in the consciousness of many. And it was during this time when I was studying the Gospel of Mary, and I have said to many people, wow, what I haven't heard of the Gospel of Mary. I haven't heard of the Gospel of Thomas. I haven't heard of the Gospel of Judas. I haven't heard of Pistis Sophia. I haven't heard of the great patriarchs. Where's this stuff? I never heard of it. It's there. It's there. And as I have always said, yes, Gnostic information is some of the most valuable out there. Absolutely, Keith. And I tell you what else, Keith, guess what? I just did a deep dive into the Emerald Tablets. Okay, the Emerald Tablets, and that is by Doriel. Okay, now they're a little bit different from the Emerald Tablets. That's all about the Philosopher's Stone and alchemy and all of that stuff. That's one section. But this comes from Toth. This comes from Toth, known as Tahuti. Okay, and he is the great Atlantean. Edgar Casey spoke a lot about Atlantis. Okay, so this is this group that's going to be going this coming Friday to Hot Springs, Arkansas. because we have work to do there. What is the work? To program the crystals, the remembering. Not only are we going to be activated, but we carry the codes to activate these crystals, to remember to bring up the resonant field of cosmic memory, coming back online, not to repeat the same mistake again. We want the ascension of a whole civilization and not the downfall. And you have to go and whistle, what is with this pattern? Okay. And what we do is this is where we have to become independent. We have to free our mind of the indoctrination. We're all indoctrinated from the time we're born into our families, loving families. But they're sharing information that their parents shared and their ancestors have shared. But then things, remember that game where it was called telephone, and you go around several people, and by the time it gets to the 10th person, it's a different kind of thing. Okay. Are you going to go by that 10th person? You're going to say, I got to go to the original source to get this information and figure it out for myself. And what I want to talk about today is that we need to be our own teachers. We need to be open to our own higher self, our higher intuition, our knowing that's already embedded within us. Jesus the Christ is a quotation that says the kingdom of God is within you. But we've been very programmed to go outside of ourselves. Okay, now we live in a world of duality. So you have to think, of course, you have the benevolence and beautiful people, loving and caring people, which I would say is the natural, authentic default of Homo sapiens, of humans, that they are aligned with the Adam Kadmon, the divine human as described in Kabbalah. Okay. And as these humans, okay, we actually, our source comes from a much higher frequency of light. It comes from the highest of aeons. Okay. What some may call in the Gnostics, the pleroma. What Toth has talking about is the children of light. It is about the light. And what I was going to say is that Toth in the Emerald Tablets, which goes back, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, okay, I have to say that the Gnostic Gospels are basically saying the same story as what Toth is saying in the Emerald Tablets. Got to start waking up. Like, wait a minute. Now, I've said this before, but being on this dynamic, I'll say it again. If we are here and we are co-creators, right? We're co-creators. We can create stuff, right? We're co-creators. Okay. But if there are other beings in other frequencies and perhaps more even advanced beings, okay, they're co-creators too. And we can co-create for something that's positive, loving, and uplifting. But guess what? You can have those that are co-creating for self-interest. There's a Hermetic principle by Toth that says, as above, so below as above. So we're having these two dynamics over here. And at first, I used to think it was just this planet that was so off in its balance, and it was like, oh my gosh, we have to raise the vibration of this one planet, that this one planet is the one that's like fallen, it's like, off kilter. But I come to understand it's not just our planet, it's the whole fallen universe. That says a lot of stuff. That says a lot of stuff when you're waking up to that. That means I don't care if somebody comes on a cloud right here. I'm going to say hi, but who are you? And what are you aligned with? Are you service to self or are you service to others? Which one are you? Because I'm only aligning with the service to others. Okay, what Toth has talked as the children of light. Okay, what the Gnostic Gospels talk about, okay, is to be part of the pleroma, the original source. So it's a deep dive into a lot of things, but what I want to come out of this mostly is that if we're going to really trust, Jesus Christ said the kingdom of God is within you, and you start to go on that path, that means it is your own self-empowerment. I think, as all of us, we have the intelligence to figure things out. Before I've been told, well, that's okay, we'll tell you. Well, can I not figure it out myself? I'd like to read what it is you're reading and we can have a discussion about it. I suppose, no, that's okay. We'll do it and we'll tell you, like, that's not self-empowerment. That's falling into the whole hierarchy thing that I know and you don't. No, we're all equal. We all can figure it out together. That is the structural this thing, hierarchy, and then everybody's down here versus the circle. We're into the circle because everybody holds a puzzle piece. And when we come together as the family of light, holding our unique puzzle piece that nobody else can hold, that's when the higher collective begins to unfold. The higher story unfolds. Okay, we work together as one divine collective. Now, the only other thing that I want to mention to you that's real important is that we have to now more than ever practice our intuition muscle. Just like how you say, I want to develop my triceps, I want to develop a muscle in my physical body, and you have to work at it and work at it. The same thing goes for your intuition because, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to rely on our intuition because the program out there is to cause great confusion. There's confusion right now. Like, do I listen to this? Do I listen to that? They seem not to be having conflicting, narratives. Is this one right? Is this one wrong? I don't know. Well, that's where you go. Yeah, you do your research, but guess what? That is where you go and say, I'm going to have to trust myself. I'm going to have to trust my higher self, which we all have a higher self. That's why we want to go into the neutral observer and stay there as much as we can. Stay in that neutral observer. Because when you get drawn down into the world of polarity and the drama that causes, you walk into a world of confusion now more than ever. When you have all these conflicting sides and these dualities with the illusion that somehow we're separate from one another. And I want to say that absolutely, I feel that this is a program. I believe that humans, true humans that are made in the image and similitude of the divine, the Most High God, with a capital G, not the little gods, Gods. I remember being in school and I heard the name Elohim. I thought Elohim was the one God. And then I remember seeing Elohim as in gods with an S plural. I was like, what? Elohim is plural? And I never got that. It's like, remember this. And so later on, we begin to see there's a lot more going on in the invisible plane. That's really where the action is in the unseen planes. That's where it's at. So the bottom line on all of this here is it is now very, very important that we focus about our self-empowerment. Our self-empowerment. So what's our self-empowerment? Well, get your intuition online. Start trusting that. Start trusting your own thought. I don't care if everybody says, nah, this is going right and this is what, and you don't feel it. Trust what you don't feel. It doesn't matter what the crowd is doing. Trust you. And the more you begin to trust your own intuition, the more you're like, I sense this. Note to self. You don't start ignoring these things that come to you, these higher little subtle things, and just keep on going. That's the whole idea, is to keep you distracted. You had to pause a moment and say, wow, I just had this inspiration, or gee, I just felt this touch on my shoulder, or gee, this something happened. You don't have to understand it. All you need to do is acknowledge it. That's it. Just start acknowledging it and say, I really don't feel this. I feel this. Do that. Do what you sense or what you feel, what you're feeling nature. Okay, your heart is very powerful. Trust that, because haven't you done things where you feel to do something and later on you figured out mentally why you did that? It came first with a feeling before it became understandable with the brain, with the mind. It's like, now I know I was feeling the way I was feeling. Now I got it. So you don't have to wait for the mind to figure things out. It'll figure it out eventually. But the feeling nature that you hold, the divine spark that you hold, the higher self that you hold, that's what's going to come through. And you have to pay attention to that. And the more that you pay attention to that, the more that's going to be your guiding force. And as you allow that to happen, let me tell you else what's going to happen. Okay? You're going to live life fearlessly. Because the big program out there, and there's a whole bunch of them, self-esteem, you're not smart enough, good enough, all this other stuff, to keep you down. You're not worthy enough. Okay. And there's many other programs out there that make you feel awful, less than, but there's also a tool that's been used forever, and that is the fear. Fear. That has been a program that has been used for millennia, okay, as far back as we can think. But guess what? We are now beginning to remember who we are as these magnificent spiritual beings of light who have chosen to come here to have our memories wiped out and still remember who we are and tap into our own power. That's who we are. That's who we are. And there are myriad of beings out there that are saying, oh my gosh, bravo, bravo, because this is not a walk in the park, is it? At all. But as you see things, oh my gosh, what's going on with the world? We could go on and on and on. I don't have to go into that. We already know and see what's going on. What about we come and say, one, we're going to change it. I remember I have power. Oh, yeah, I'm going to change it. I'm going to keep my vibe high, and I'm seeing the higher vision of this beautiful planet. That's what I'm sticking to. I don't care what anybody else is doing. I'm holding that because my visualization, my intention, okay, is that powerful. I remember that. Oh, yeah, that's right. I can do that. Because people say, oh, no, I can't do it. You're right. Oh, yes, I can do it. You're right. Either way, because you're that powerful. And so it comes down to your choice. It comes down to your choice. Now, when we start to practice, and we want to start practicing now, if you have not, saying, I'm going to trust myself. I'm also going to investigate stuff. And as I mentioned before, why is it we do what we do and say what we say? Why are we doing that? Where does that come from? Where do the words originate from? Where did that concept come from? Let me investigate. Now we can. Before, maybe we didn't have the knowledge or the resources or to tap into information, but we do now. You could go, as I said, on your phone to the Library of Congress. You could go, as I said, online to go to Gnostic.com and read every Gnostic gospel. You have access to all kind of information that you can see the direct source yourself, and you can begin to connect the cosmic dots. You can begin to wake up and say, oh my gosh, okay, I remember who I am. Because for you to do that, you have to come from a cosmic perspective. You have to go way beyond this little world and this little physical body and the earth suits we in. Your consciousness goes all the way up. Okay. And now, as you raise your vibration, yes, there's things there that kind of limit us. Yeah, there is. But we can go beyond that. Like this anchoring light that we've been doing now is going to be heading 19 years. I know there's energies coming in trying to tap us to stop it from going further. It can't, because then we go higher. It hits it, we go higher because we are limitless and eternal. And when once you're like, oh my gosh, then fear dissipates. Yes, we're here to do a job. Yes, we're here like those that are suffering and have forgotten who they are and they are in fear. We can go ahead and say, okay, kumbaya, we're going to be there with you. No, we are the ones, as Jesus Christ said, that holds the light, the way. How's the way out of here? What's the way out of this place? to something better, higher, loving, where there is no gnashing of the teeth and there's continued cycle of fear, manipulation, and all of that over and over again. Nothing has changed for a very long time. But now, as we're beginning, as the sun does its thing, as the electromagnetic field begins to lessen, as these codes start coming in, I'm saying to every light worker, this is your opportunity now to be enhanced in ways that you can't even imagine. If you're not aligning with service to others and holding the higher heart of compassion and unconditional your love, it's going to be a rough ride. That's all I have to say. It's going to be a rough ride. So with that, I'm going to close by saying, remember to start working on your spiritual intuition muscle. Start doing those little things of trusting yourselves. Start going ahead and searching on your own. Start going beyond those things that you know to the unknown. Trust your own self, that you have the higher guidance. You're connected to your higher self. You're connected to the highest of the celestial realms of light. Know that and trust that that's going to come into your life as you begin to make known the unknown and coming from the path of love and light. Namaste, beautiful family of light. We will see you next time.